See that spike? So as soon as a predator comes in and aims for the eye, they're going to hit that razor-sharp gill plate. Just pop him back down there. Straight back down in the rocks. I decide to abandon Keith's concoction in favour of some lumps of bread of my stale rolls, which instantly attract some very greedy little mullet.
Yay! God, Thomas.
Yes! Chunky little mullet up on the surface on the bread. They're so difficult to catch. But we managed to get one. Now, these can get up to, well, best part of 10 pounds, about 5 kilos. So this one's a little baby, but never been happier. Never been happier to catch one, especially because it's bigger than yours.
And that was pretty much it for what has to be the most underwhelming competition in the history of sea fishing. And with the sun starting to set, we decide to abandon our position on the rocks.
Right, we're not giving up yet, but walking back across those rocks after dark is pretty treacherous, I think, to say the least. Right, next plan. I still think we're in with a chance of something big after dark.
Yeah. We've got a full moon tonight. Big old moon. Big old moon usually means big fish.
Yeah.
So we have to try and get a rod out there for a big fish.
Well, where we were before, there was a bit of depth, but I've got a feeling this bit's, well, you can see where the waves are breaking. I can't cast the rod that far. It's too shallow.
Very shallow. We have to find a solution to get it out there.
And the solution Keith comes up with is me. Either the man's a genius, or I'm just an idiot for agreeing to do it. It's probably a bit of both, to be honest.
You know the scariest bit?
Yeah.
I'm holding the bait for a monster fish. And it's pretty murky. I think we're in about maybe 8–10 foot of water there, which should be enough.
The trap is set. Let's see if Keith's adage about the full moon is correct.
Right, we've just had a few clicks on the reel. Something's picked the bait up and it's moved maybe half a yard and then it stopped. And then we waited a few minutes and then it's moved another half a yard. And it seems to have stopped, so something's in the area. They can very rarely steal the bait off the hook without hooking themselves up. And I just hope that hasn't happened. Right. I'm in two minds as to whether to bring this in or not. But, well, I think we've got to check to see if there's bait on there.
Moved it quite a bit, didn't it? So.
Yeah.
Wow, look. Wow. I think we've been done.
Straight in half. Ah! Sardine bait. That was whole when we first started, and now something has bitten it clean in half. I knew something had picked it up.
Well, at least one good thing, we know what it's worked, what we're doing. But the bad side of it is, Tom...
I'm not sure about swimming out again, but I'm happy to go up to my waist and cast it as far as we can.
I think with the tide coming back in now, you ain't got to go out as far, so...
We've got to stay longer.
Definitely.
Trousers off time.
Ding, ding. You're going out.
Heading out into the murky darkness, mate. Oh, it feels colder this time round.
2 hours later, things have gone quiet.
Right, it's in the early hours of the morning. As much as I want to stay, because I'm desperate to find out what it is that's out there. Gonna have to admit defeat. It's game over.
It's day 3 and I haven't given up on night fishing just yet, or achieving my target of 3 trophy fish in 3 days. And whilst most of the island's visitors have spent the day on the beach, I've been getting some rest in, ahead of what promises to be a big night. Keith has arranged an introduction to a different crew in a way of fishing I've never tried. He promises me it's an amazing opportunity.
Well, my night fishing skills leave a little bit to be desired. There's a boat round here that's got it down to a fine art, and for a good reason. They do it for a living. I managed to sneaky my way onto their boat that's going out tonight as crew, so this is a proper working harbour, and I'm going to get my first taste of what it's like to be a commercial fisherman.
The type of fish we'll be going for is mackerel. There are over 30 different species, ranging in size from about 20 centimetres to over 60 centimetres. Although what we'll be catching tonight will probably be at the smaller end of the scale. Not a classic sports fish or trophy fish, you might say? Well, from my point of view, the method we'll use to catch them and the sheer quantity we hope to get will surely feel like a trophy moment for me.
Juan Carlos. Oh, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
We head out. It's almost 7 p.m. and we've less than an hour's daylight left. My shift starts with me quite literally being shown the ropes. These are attached to the nets that help haul them in.
Yeah, true. Sure I'm doing this right.
I don't know if it's me being cack-handed, but it took me numerous attempts before I finally nailed this one simple task.
Got it right on the last one.
Just as well I'm not doing the more complicated stuff. I asked the captain through an interpreter where we're heading.
6 miles.
Yeah.
That will be 3 miles to the coast.
Right.
We're about 10 kilometres from the shore in a relatively shallow part of the sea.
They're like little spots, but they know which fish it is. If it's
really?
mackerel or if it's sardines, they will know it from these screens.
Wow. These guys have been doing this for so long. And I think what I find most fascinating about it is the fact that they live on a day-to-day basis. One day they can go out and they can catch and they can feed their families and they can have a good time and they get paid. And sometimes you go out and to be perfectly frank, you just come home empty-handed. And there's actually not many industries left that are like that.
Suddenly the night falls and we're ready to go.
Just arrived at the destination. They've been checking the sounder marker. This is a to last week and had a good catch, and they've seen fish on the sounder again. So we've stopped off. It's just all systems go. Basically, we're going to shoot the nets. I don't know exactly how it works yet, but I'm very keen to find out. I'm also quite keen to not get in the way. I want to try and be some help. But this whole process is really, really interesting. Powered lights on to attract small bait fish. Brings up all of the mackerel underneath that feed on them. So I think we're going to slowly, you can obviously hear the engines in the background, we're going to slowly kind of chug round, almost like collecting as many mackerel underneath the boats as possible. And then they've got a small boat that they shoot the nets with round in a huge circle and then pull them all together. And that's the moment of truth. That's really when you start to see if you've got a decent catch or not.
But before the captain commits to dropping the nets and circling the area, we need to test the water.
So it's not dissimilar to how I would catch mackerel back at home on a rod and line. Good, we're in luck. If you watch, he's putting the line over his finger because he's feeling for a bite. Come on. I hope we got one, or more than one. I hope we got 10. What have we got? Horse mackerel, small horse mackerel. I don't think anyone's earned any money yet, but it's a start. Right, now we turn around and go home.
Finally, there is something my limited skill set can just about stretch to.
I've got... Ah, yeah, we're on. We're on. Okay, now here's the test. If it's going to be bigger than yours, or two. Come film. I think I'm going to have a guess. We've got
Barcelona, Arsenal. Barcelona.
Three, I think we've got three. Ah, just one. These are what we call horse mackerel. We also call them, in the UK, we call them scad. And the way to identify them is a regular mackerel has tiger stripes. It's got these beautiful sort of blue and silver and black stripes on its back. One interesting way to identify, you can see the line coming down here. Can you catch that in the light? There's, if you run your finger backwards, see how it's catching the skin? It's got tiny little spines facing backwards, so I can rub this way fine, but this way, it's like rubbing your fingers against Velcro. Very, very good to eat. Eat. Eat.
With the skipper giving the word to go, I get handed a set of waterproofs, a sure sign that hard work is about to begin.
Right, it's actually happening. This is the moment of truth. What we're doing is we're now dimming the lights because can you see they've got a super strong light on the back of the boat? What they're going to do is they're going to shoot this whole net round in a huge circle and try and capture all of the fish that we've attracted to the boat. And this is the point, they don't want to get this wrong. You've got to shoot it cleanly in one hit.
With the main boat plunged into darkness, one of the crew rows out on a smaller boat with only a set of oars and a generator to power his single light.
So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to draw all of the fish that we've drawn towards the main boat out towards the small punt. We're now going to shoot the nets in a big circle, absolutely pitch black at the moment. This is actually quite dangerous. Here we go, first one's off. Did not know we were going to be doing this in pitch black. It's scary enough being on a commercial boat anyway. This is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, let alone doing that when there's no lights on. Right, we've shot the net all in a loop, we've collected the end, and now it's the magic time, pulling it back in again. In terms of unique experiences, commercial fishing for the first time, probably one of the most dangerous industries there is. And I'm doing it when there's no lights on, solely under a bit of moonlight. Very, very glad the seas aren't too rough today. Oh, we're back on. We got some light again. Woo! Is everyone still on the boat? Right, it's all hands on deck at the moment. I've actually got to concentrate. I can't really talk too much. We've got a massive, massive net to pull in. Even the skipper, there's no one at the helm at the moment. No one's driving the boat. Everyone's got a job to do. This is a big job. It's taken a long time. I think we've got 3 square kilometres of netting to pull in here. Hang on. Stand there? Yeah, right.
I'm amazed at how little communication there is between the crew at this stage. Everyone knows exactly what their job is. I'm right in at the deep end, but I'm learning so much.
feeling, which is like lots of adrenaline, tired at the same time. It's like it's the middle of the night. We've been working for a few hours. It's like, oh! You catch some strange things in the nets here. That's a puffer fish. Right, it's gonna go in there. Just hope I did all right. I think I did. Did I do okay?
Okay.
Yeah? Good.
As we head back to the harbour, the important task of sorting the fish begins. These guys have been hard at it since we left port. I tell you what, they know how to work. The catch now has to be unloaded and packed ready to be shipped straight to market. The crew still has over an hour's hard manual labour before they can call it a day.
The boys are just finishing up. They're stacking up the catch. 1.5 tons of mackerel. Absolutely amazing. And the icing on the cake for a marine biologist like me is just off the back of the boat. We've had turtles and enormous great rays, garfish coming up, and we threw them a few sardines. It was like an aquarium. So it's the end of the night and the end of my Gran Canaria trip. It started off good, it got better, it went epic, and then, to be honest, we just finished with beyond epic. I don't even know if there's a word for that. It's been magnificent.
I came here to experience the very best of Gran Canaria's sea fishing, with 3 trophy fish my main objective. And thanks to some truly awesome people, some amazing locations, and a bit of luck, I managed 2 definite trophies. Although it's a bit sneaky, I'm going to count 1.5 tons of mackerel as my third.